All right, so I was in the church many years. Okay, there's things that I should have been asking my pastor. Okay, one of them in a phrase or a word that I see a lot in the Bible is righteousness. So I'm going to ask my pastor, Nathan here, what is righteousness?
Right. So we want to, use the Bible's definitions. In the simplest way is to look in Deuteronomy chapter 6. And you go down to verse 25. And there it says, "And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before the Lord our God as he commanded us." So the commandments that he's referring to, this is Deuteronomy chapter 6. This is a rehearsal, a rehash of Moses telling the children of Israel the 10 commandments. In Deuteronomy chapter 6 is all about loving God with all your heart, mind, and soul, which equals keeping the commandments and teaching your children the 10 commandments. That's the entirety of Deuteronomy chapter 6. So that keeping the 10 commandments, teaching them to your children, it will go well with thee from one generation to the next. And it will be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before Jehovah our God as he commanded us. So you get another reference in Psalm 119. The entirety of 119, of course, is all about the 10 commandments and all of the ordinances and statutes that Israel was under during the time of King David. And, the first verse of that, it's one of the longest Psalms in the whole book. The first verse has to do with the law of the Lord. And it says, "Blessed are the undefiled in the way who walk in the law of the Lord." Well, what's the law of the Lord? Well, it goes by different names, but it's the 10 Commandments. Now, it also picks up statutes and ordinances and other verses, but if we go down to verse 172, it says, "My tongue shall speak of thy word," God's word, "for all thy commandments are righteousness." I mean, that's pretty cut and dry on what the righteousness is. And so it's an idiom for keeping the 10 Commandments.
Well, there you go, folks. All these years in church, and I was just, I don't know, I was just making up kind of what these terms mean.